Changed its travel warning to South Africa to say that terrorists are likely to try and carry out attacks in the country. The new warning says the threats come from extremists linked to Daesh, a name given to the so-called Islamic State. Paul Barber has the latest from London.
The UK's Foreign and Commonwealth Office issues regular updates on its website to warn British nationals about the potential threats abroad when they travel. Now, at this stage, the latest advisory is warning British nationals to be vigilant in South Africa. The government here is giving few other details at this moment, but says that in this notice, terrorists are likely to carry out attacks in South Africa. They're saying that these could be indiscriminate and could target places visited by foreigners like shopping malls. The statement does mention that two British South African dual nationals were kidnapped earlier this month, and it goes on to warn that the main threat is posed by extremists linked to the Islamic State group, or Daesh. It cites reports of South Africans travelling to Syria, Iraq and Libya and fighting with IS and then posing a danger when they return. Now, that's a problem that the UK and other European countries have been grappling with for some time with their citizens. Well, Chris Van Dome from the Chatham House think tank here in London says that it's not the first time South Africa has been linked to terror activity in the Middle East, but that it's really not something that should put tourists off.
Most visits to South Africa are fine and go peacefully. There are about 400,000 British visitors to South Africa every year. But that's not to say that British visitors shouldn't be worried. There are problems of organised crime. There have been reports of visitors being followed from South African airports and robbed or hijacked on their way. And so this is a country that does have a high level of crime and criminality and organised crime as well, which is something I think that some of these terrorist organisations will tap into in those organised crime networks. But it's not something that should deter people from visiting the country, but they should be wary on travelling there.
It's important to say that the Foreign Office isn't telling people not to go to South Africa, but merely they should be careful. The FCO's website has even more strongly worded travel warnings for countries that are very popular with British tourists, including the United States and France. This latest advice stresses that UK interests and nationals face a heightened threat globally. The Foreign Office is also praising South African authorities for disrupting several planned attacks and making several arrests related to terror offences. Paul Barber, SABC News, London.